good evening, and welcome to the second edition of the NES block. This one was recorded live at SGDQ 2019. My name is Yellsrake, and with me, let's see if I'm pointing the right way with the reverse camera, with me right over here is LRock617, and
Hello.
we're gonna we're gonna break down how this one came to pass. So,
A
um,
NES block.
NES block, check out that sweet NES block.
Isn't this beautiful?
It really is. So,
So good.
this time we have another roughly 18 hours of content for you folks. We put it together again. This time it was not last minute. We were a little bit more prepared. I had all my capture equipment with me. We actually had some races this time, which was pretty
hmm
cool.
We
Um,
actually got to borrow a computer from the event, which
oh
was really,
yes,
really cool.
shout outs to World 9 Gaming for letting me borrow one of the PCs in their tournament room. And
They were superstars for sure.
yeah, like they had one of their staff come over and plug in admin passwords while I installed a whole bunch of junk on one of their machines, and yeah, that really was a lifesaver. But all the same, shout outs to Papat because he did offer me to the use of his laptop again. He was the savior of the
He
AGDQ
did.
NES block. But that's okay. We were certainly more official this time, don't you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. This was Yells here pointed out the major differences coming to this one are the fact that we actually had races as opposed to the last one where it was all just single runs. We also had submissions, as in like, hey, we can actually get you to get your games in ahead of time.
That's
So
true.
that was a different feel, in that people actually knew what we were doing even going into GDQ. I still recall being even asked, hey, is there going to be another nest block? I said I'd say there's a very good chance there's going to be. Just keep your ears to the ground. Sure
Yeah.
enough, we turned another 18 hours, and it went really, really well. I was really happy with it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. I had at least I had one or two people asking months ahead if we were going to do another nest block, and I'm like, absolutely, just stand fast. And I had at least that many people, if not more, come to me and say, hey, can you send me the link to the Discord again? Because I thought that was a one-time thing, so I left the Discord after the event.
I do recall sending out something like 17 Discord invites that Friday,
It
just
was,
from
yeah,
getting to talk with people. Some who unfortunately still weren't able to make it to the event, but I'm glad their heart was in it.
yeah, absolutely. We had many people there in spirit, and
God, for
we
sure.
if of them chiefly shout outs to Enemy TV who could not make it to SGDQ, but he was one of the focal points
Yes.
for the creation of the Nest block in January. So yeah, much love, big ups to Enemy TV. So like he's looking forward to this block because he wants to see all the madness that took place, of which there was plenty.
No,
Um,
there's tons of people that have been asking me about when it's going to be shown. Like,
yeah,
we had to delay a week because of the holiday. People were just like, "Where's Nest Block?" I'm like,
yeah. Well,
"Tight,
it
we'll
was
get there."
it was good that we had the holiday as an excuse because I wasn't ready. Like I got home, like I had the VODs. However, one of them had to be adjusted in post because we had our first randomizer race as well. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with randomizer races, but you can't exactly give live commentary while the race is going, because you're gonna give away clues to the people that are literally sitting right there racing. There's an
Yeah,
honor
and
system. They're not looking at each other's TVs, but they kind of have to do the race in silence. So we
in a
got
live
some.
setting, you definitely can't.
Yeah, absolutely. And like again, shout outs to everybody who was in the background watching, being smart enough to not give anything away and ruin the experience for everybody. But then at the same time, we got some really good commentators. We got Chess Jerk and Lost Cards Fan 23 to do some really baller commentary right over the top of this VOD. So you
Yeah.
look for that deep into the wee hours of Sunday morning, as it is Saturday night here as we're kicking off the event. So let's see. We had a couple of challenges. We have two runs that have some slight audio issues. There's the Goonies 2 randomizer, where we had a microphone issue. With sincerest apologies to
I'll
Arborelia.
take the blunt on that one. I apologize. Like, you don't have to cover for me. Arborelia, your run was great. I'm glad you had a great time doing it, but I greatly do apologize. It was the first run of the entire event that it was my job to set up the runner. I remember I took over while Seth's runs were ongoing, but he had already been set up. Like he started his first game, which I think was Kabuki Quantum Fighter, before he moved on to Castlevania 2 and Wizards and Warriors. And by the time he was into Castlevania 2, which was when I first took over the desk, he'd already been clipped, so I didn't have to do that part. So then Arborelli was after that, and it just completely slipped my mind. And I recall after she left, someone asked a question about it, and it was like sitting right in front of the CRT, and I was just like, oh, really? Like first time, but in this case, someone had to pay for it. And I my sincerest apologies. It's a really really cool run though, and for anyone who enjoys Goonies 2, definitely give Arborelia's run of it a watch and check out the rando. It's really really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there'll be a little bit of duplicated audio there, and Arborellia will be difficult to hear for portions of the run for sure, just because again the microphone's right in front of the TV. So,
But it's Goonies 2, so the music's really good.
the
So
music
it's
is
cool.
really good. The run is really interesting too. So,
Yeah,
just
that
be sure
game
to
has
check that
some
out.
key items, serious key items going on.
And the other run, later in the event, there is an Iron Sword race between Scavenger and Jam Eveler that I was doing probably my best race commentary ever on 3 hours of sleep. And somehow I muted the mic before we went live. So you hear the game. The game is really good. The music for Iron Sword is great, and the gameplay is great. But you just see me yapping away, but you can't hear me yapping away. So yeah, so those are our two. I mean, in fairness, I think this is technically it's a step up from where we were for the AGDQ Nest block because I did all the we did all the
we
game
we should
capture
just
in.
replace all of Yell's commentary with Homer Simpson quotes.
I mean, you could. We could
That'd
if
be
we have
entertaining,
time.
right?
Like this is being like fair point. This is being recorded ahead of time, so we absolutely still have time. So if you
Uh,
get to that race and there's a bunch of Homer Simpson stuff overlaid, then
my bad.
we got to it. But yeah, so those are our two bits there. I know we had an issue at AGDQ where we lost game audio, which ended up being a blessing in disguise for a couple of races because the microphone wasn't very good. But again, this time, had a
Yeah,
better
that
capture setup.
was a skeleton setup for sure,
Right, like
but
that one
we got
happened.
there.
That
We
one
got
happened
there.
like 9 hours after the idea came up.
Yeah, for scraping together within like 8 to 9 hours, peachy. Like
Yeah,
it was might as well have been worth $1 million. But
yeah, that one was
this
really.
time,
This one again,
we got things going.
overall, like things were gonna look a bit sharper for you. We just have those two blips. So again, apologies to Arborellia, apologies to Scavenger and Jam Eveler, about the audio, about not being able to hear you, and apologies to Yelsrake for not being able to hear his amazing once in a lifetime commentary of the Iron Sword. I'm sorry, sorry, I got distracted. Um, so yeah, so again, we had I believe it is 41 runs. Last time we got 50, but we had some longer content this time. So we got
Yes.
41 runs in just about 18 hours.
Yeah,
and
we
it's gonna
had
be really really good.
much longer runs this time. The Legend of Zelda randomizer race took it I think around an hour if I'm not mistaken. Goonies 2 randomizer same. One of my runs was like 45 minutes, and I don't even think we had a run at AGDQ's Nest block that came close to that. We may have had like a couple of 30 minutes. Do you recall if any went longer than that?
I think a couple. There was Mega Man 4 goes about 40. I know we had a couple of Mega Man games that were in like the 30 to 40 range, but I think those might have been the longer ones. But yeah, and actually the Zelda 1 randomizer race went nearly 2 hours because the flags
Oh,
were set to like super brutal. It's called consternation flags, and I think there's a reason for it. But but yeah, so it's there's some good stuff coming. Um, I think I think we got the gist. I think we can let people in and just let them start to enjoy what was the SGDQ Nest block. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Fantastic. So without further ado,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. We're gonna kick it off coming up right after this. We lead off with Aquas running Ninja Gaiden any percent. So yeah, Nest block. Make sure to give Elrock617 a follow. Follow this man. He's
By
an
all means,
amazing.
please follow Yell's Rake as well. Just hit 1,000 after his amazing back-to-back runs at SGDQ. Absolutely deserves your time and attention. And he just got the 241 yesterday, second one ever. Congrats on that.
Oh, you said yesterday you spoiled when we recorded this.
Nah.
All right, everybody, enjoy. Peace out.